Oh my gosh, welcome. Okay, we're gonna factor this. It has 4 terms. Maybe you've factored some this big, maybe not. You've probably been factoring smaller ones, but this isn't too bad. I'm gonna go really quick in this video. I'm assuming you're pretty comfortable with factoring. If you need a more detailed version, I will link it over there. I will also link a playlist with all the factoring videos your heart could desire. Okay, so check those out if you need to. But let's get going here. We want to know what, there's going to end up being 3 parentheses that multiply together to give us this, and also a number out front, but we'll talk about that in a second. So how do I factor this? Whenever I factor, the first thing I always want to do is look and see if there's anything I can pull out from the beginning. Okay, so looking at this, I notice all these numbers are even, which means I'll be able to pull a 2 out. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is pull that 2 out. Now, if for some reason you forget to do this at the beginning, as long as you could pull it out later. It is just easier to do it at the beginning if you remember to notice it. So if I pull that 2 out, I'm going to be left with x to the 3rd minus x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, so here we go so far. Now, how do I factor this is my question. Okay, we are factoring by grouping here. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at these 2 numbers. Well, actually, they're variables, and see if I can pull anything out. So with those 2, I can pull out an x squared, okay? If I pull out an x squared from these 2, what I'm left with is x minus 1. We feeling okay about this? Okay, what we need to remember is this 2 here. Hopefully that yellow shows up. Oh, it does. Okay. We can't forget to add that. Sorry, not add it. It's being multiplied, but you know what I'm saying. To put that with our answer. So I'm not going to continue to write it right now because we have to add more parentheses and things, but I'm like putting a lovely highlighter. Remember this here to add it or to make sure it's on there at the end. Okay. So pulled out that x squared. Now I'm going to see what I can pull out from this group. So I notice I can pull out a -4. Okay. If I pull out a -4, I'm left with x minus 1. Okay. If you're like, why didn't you pull out a +4? Well, technically I could have, but then our whole goal is to get these 2 to match. Okay. So that's why I pulled out a -4. All right. Now, this is when now I can factor out this whole x minus 1. Okay. So now I pull the x minus 1 out, which is being multiplied by the x squared minus 4. Okay, if you're like, there was 2, how can there only be 1 now? Well, it's just like whenever we pull something out, this is being multiplied back in, so it really is like there's 2 of them. Okay, not quite done. We can factor this further. This is a difference of 2 squares, which is like this. If you need a review, I'll link a video as well. But basically, since it's a difference of 2 squares, I know it factors to x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, now I want to say I'm done, but this is why I highlighted this 2. We can't forget that it is out front, and that is my answer. You can always go back and multiply it all out and make sure you get this answer. But there you go. If this doesn't work, if you pull stuff out and your parentheses are different, you may either need to see if you can factor it a different way, or if your teacher wants you to get real fancy, you may need to do the rational zero theorem. But I'm hoping that's not the case at this point where you are. So hopefully this factoring by grouping will work for you. All right. Hopefully you can get your stuff done. Have dreams of math that are nightmares.